So I'm just gonna start out this journey as saying that this is gonna be a little bit of a podcast, I guess you call it, where about a year ago I started really having what I would call a paralyzed anxiety. They diagnosed it as PSTD and anxiety based on some complex trauma I had. Now, to say that this is something that's, one thing caused it, that's impossible. Complex trauma usually is a multitude of things piling up. It might have been putting me back into something that might have been a position I lived in as a child, but even that's not one complex trauma or one thing that caused it. It's a multitude of things and events out of your control when you're a child that cause it, that ends up being a large group of things that pile up on you when you get older that reminds you this happened before, and then it triggers all the events of how you felt when you were a kid. So I'm just gonna say that a year ago I did a video because I found video therapy or video streaming seems to be a very helpful therapeutic way to relook at everything and reevaluate what I'm basically saying in this right now. And I'm just gonna cut this to the clip of when I did my first streaming therapy video about a year ago, when I realized this anxiety just isn't going away. I thought I could sit there and it would, eventually alleviate itself. I'm a strong person. I've always done everything on my own. I've always overcome stuff. And so when it wasn't, I decided I would do this video. So I'm just going to cut to that clip. So now this is how I decided that, that video was one way of acknowledging that I was having traumas and things that were upsetting to me and things that I was finding hard, and in a way that's kind of caring about yourself, but not really. So not only that, but I was seriously just waiting for everything to, eventually I thought to myself, this will be something I overcome. I will start feeling better. This will start becoming an alleviation. And for probably months and months I sat there, thinking one day this is really going to alleviate itself and I'm going to be better. And as much as that is somewhat caring for myself, I can see I have a problem. I can see I have an issue. I can tell there's something that I need to take care of myself. I quit my job. I started focusing on art therapy and built myself a really good business online. So everything's going okay for me. But I'm still paralyzed by this anxiety where I can't leave my house for very long or go very far without feeling extremely anxious. So almost like a fear of I'm gonna die or something here. I'm gonna pass out and someone's gonna take me to the hospital and shoot me full of stuff that's gonna cause me to die because I'm allergic to formaldehyde. So that was one of my biggest triggers of taking a course that was related to addictions, and it all happened right around COVID. I decided to take courses during COVID to help myself, to steer myself in a direction that would get me more education. So the more I learned, the more I would feel all this stuff is caring about myself. And although I care about myself and I did it in those ways, I never really cared about myself to do the work. So right here, this is where I'm going to be starting to do the work. So I actually haven't left my area. I take my car out to keep my car running, things like that. I lost my license, so I had to go get my license, and I didn't drive my car for a long time. This is the first time I'm actually leaving my area, my neighborhood, and you know, the anxiety is going to start kicking in, I'm sure, at some point in time. But I mean, I'm going to keep doing the work, because it's the work that I didn't do to show I cared about myself. It's the work that you need to do. So I'm going to start doing the work to actually move forward out of just sitting in the house and trying to figure out if art therapy is going to be the solution, if doing live stream videos is going to be the solution, or if really what I need to do is this work. So right now I'm going and venturing much further than I have in a long time, and you know, talking and stuff, talking through it is helping a lot. I brought my gum, I brought my water, I have my buddy turtle. As you can see, he's always agreeable. And now I'm just gonna start focusing on actually doing the work. And here I am, I'm at Warsaw. This is quite a bit past my house, and I'm actually gonna go to traffic lights, and traffic lights are probably a little bit intimidating to me, because I have to stop and I have to stay there, and I'm stopped and I'm stuck, right? So here we are going up to, and I'm gonna turn. So I'm gonna, you know, honor myself here and not get stuck at that light and not feel like I'm stopped and trapped. I'm gonna turn this way down Jesse and keep going. And the thing about it is I don't want to be too hard on myself, and I don't want to push myself too far or too fast. I want to actually get through this paralyzed anxiety without harming myself to do it. So a lot of people take that tough love status and they really put it past. It's a position of being something that you have to force yourself past, and to some degree I really agree that you do have to force yourself past it. You really do, but let's take baby steps, because if I force myself and I'm not comfortable, I could experience a really severe panic attack. And although I'm talking to you on this right now, I'm by myself, so I don't want to be in a position where I'm by myself and that I'm stuck like this. I want to be in a position where I actually feel like I'm going to be okay, and I feel like I can handle this and everything. But look at this. This is so cool watching this simultaneously, these people. That was cool. But yeah, so I mean, stuff like that doesn't seem to bother me, because I can see the event and it's going to be over soon. It seems to be things that are like a traffic jam, lights that are red, and then, you know, things that might hold me up a little bit longer than I'm comfortable with, that I'm just going to take a little bit more time and alleviate the fear by giving myself permission to know that I can stop and turn, to know that I can go back and try again, to know that I can be still working towards my goal of getting myself out of this paralyzed anxiety. And as I said in the video that I'm going to show you, that I showed you the clip of earlier, that you can see for yourself, I hadn't even realized right then that this was a paralyzed position, that I was feeling like trapped, actually. Although I felt as though something was wrong with me, I kept trying to find out what it was that was wrong with me, what it was that was causing this extreme paralyzation, this extreme feeling of anxiety and trapped, and like I can't really do anything about it to get out of it. This started happening when I started to try to go out and do normal things, and I stopped being able to do it. So all different reasons, again, a lot of things piling up on me again. The trauma probably started when I had to realize that my family was a very toxic family, but I always had my parents, and my parents were always the ones that kind of talked me through all the stuff that was hard. My siblings were very abusive to me, and I had just gotten through it, you know, like, and I figured myself a very strong person, having gone through all this toxic behavior that was learned from my parents. My parents weren't good to my siblings, and my siblings weren't good to me. But to me, my parents were the people who would save me from my siblings. So I would tend to view my parents as somebody of security, and people that would talk me down, and people that would be there, and people that would have my back. And yeah, I guess during the COVID and everything, I got less and less support from my parents and more abuse from the outside world, because I can't take anything that has formaldehyde in it. I have an extreme allergy to formaldehyde, and any subcontained live protein that would help you to get rid of a bacteria like COVID would have formaldehyde in it. So I was forced in a way to realize that I had to fight for myself, and my parents weren't able to be there for me, because this is something that has to do with governments and bigger things and bigger issues. So I had to go through things that were much bigger than just my family and my siblings and stuff. But at the same time, right afterwards, my dad and my mom both experienced dementia and Alzheimer's, which also puts the heredity of that becoming a problem for me on me as well. I also have to realize that my parents won't be around to be there if I go through what I'm going through, and I'm pretty proud that I was able to talk myself through that stop, and that you know, I've gone pretty far from my normal place, and I'm feeling the anxiety, but you know, I'm going to talk myself through it. I'm going to have some water right now. Just going to help myself here. Get around this corner and come back. So I had to realize that I no longer had my parents there as my safety net. No one who was going to be there to turn things around for me and make this better for me. So I found myself in a position where I have to start helping myself, and this is what caused all the anxiety. Not that I never helped myself before, because I've always been someone who's helped myself, but I've never had to help myself emotionally, because I'm autistic on the spectrum of auto processing. So emotions are not a big deal to me. I don't really experience them the same way, and I don't really understand them at all. So when other people have them, I try my best to understand, and I'm empathetic for sure. But at the same time, when it happens to me, these emotional cues that there's something emotionally upsetting to me, I've never really understood it, and I think that's probably one of my biggest complex traumas, is not knowing what this is that's emotional. And if you've ever experienced people with autism on the spectrum, they get very highly agitated, frantic, frustrated, and can have meltdowns when they're out places too long, or things start happening that they don't understand how to control. Well, that's exactly what I'm experiencing, except my autism is what's known as invisible intellectual disability. So you wouldn't notice it normally, because I've done everything. Like I've had every kind of job. I've worked, I've taken care of myself, I raised my daughters on my own. You wouldn't know I had this kind of disproportion of intellectual disability, because I've been able to manage it and handle it on my own. I'm not saying I never had meltdowns, and I'm not saying I never had tough times, and I'm not saying that I haven't experienced things that were difficult at times. I'm just saying that it's very possible that I was able to fake it till I made it through an entire lifetime almost. I'm 55 years old now, and this didn't really hit me until I was in my 50s. So I'm finding that kind of stuff is really something I'm starting to acknowledge in myself, is that I do have this invisible intellectual disability that I've never really taken time to nurture, care about, relax, acknowledge, understand it, learn how to cope with it. I've spent 30 years helping people with intellectual disabilities, as from the children's perspective in daycares to schools, and then into the adult perspective of helping them handle theirs. But I've never really felt like I needed that kind of support myself. And I'm gonna say, yeah, I probably always did. And as much as I picked up the stuff that I was helping other people with, I can't say that I was good enough to myself to actually use it, utilize it, and make it something familiar for me. So I'm gonna say that this ride out and talk about my perspective of my invisible intellectual disability has really helped a lot. I feel like I've gone further outside my comfort zone than I ever have before. I did experience a little bit of anxiety near the end there, but I still got through it and I still made it, and I'm still, you know, on my way. I am heading back to my house right now. I am gonna put this video into a format. I am gonna share this on my page. I do run a healing workshop for art therapy, so I would call this, you know, streaming therapy, because quite frankly, I'm probably going to have this streamed so that I can share this perspective. But I'm also looking at it myself, so I'm going to take this back, and when I format this, I'm actually going to format this so that I can see all the things. Like I'm gonna see, like I did in my other video, where I disassociate, where I change the subject, where I lack in formulating what it is I'm really feeling, where I'm missing things. I'm gonna see these things when I play this video back. I know I'm also paying attention to the road, so I'm gonna take that into consideration. But the real point is that it's not done just by videotaping it and having this success of making it through not only that traffic light, but all the way down to the point to where I could turn around and come back, and not having felt so bad that I feel like I'm gonna pass out, or like I wouldn't attempt it again, right? Because it was too scary. I feel like this was a successful attempt. And I really think that this is going to help me a lot. And I think that I'm going to end this coming up to my stop here. And I'm going to say that this is successful. And tomorrow, I think I might even try going to the mall and doing something actually outside my truck. If I can't do that, then I think I'm going to go somewhere and actually park and sit and do some drawing. Something that's going to be a little bit different than what I've been doing up until now, but it's really going to help me to find a way to get through this and continue to do the work and take care of myself and really care about myself through this. So thanks for joining us on this ride. Me and Turtle had a great day. Thanks.